I'm presenting to you from Portland, Oregon, and I can't wait to share with you what my paper is about. I picked this research topic because oftentimes topics like these are overlooked. For a long time, there was only research done on the male body and not the female body, so I want to help bridge this knowledge gap. I also had two main goals in mind when going into this. Trying to educate more females on how their bodies work so that when they get into the later stage of life, they're able to understand what's happening and why it's happening, as well as helping the STEM community have less of a stigma around talking about what happens to these females during these cycles. Now that you understand why I wanted to research this, let's go into the actual research. To break it down, I focused on 4 of the major reproductive stages a woman may go through: menses, pregnancy, postpartum, and menopause. During this time, hormones are fluctuating, which causes the structure in the brain to change. Today, I'll just be focusing on the menses cycle. Menses is a 28-day cycle where a woman's uterus goes through different phases such as ovulation, and during this time, the thickness of the uterus is changing. Since the thickness of the uterus is changing, this leads to the hormone change as well, which correlates to changes in brain volume. To further understand this, we must understand 5 main sex hormones that are required to change in the menses cycle: estrogen, also called estradiol, during the menses cycle; progesterone, follicle-stimulating hormone or FSH, luteinizing hormone or LH, and testosterone. Estrogen is a steroid sex hormone and is the general term for the hormone, while estradiol is the main form of estrogen during a woman's menses. During a menstrual cycle, estradiol plays a key role in ovulation, where estradiol increases the size of the uterus lining during this time. Progesterone is an endosteroid hormone which prepares a place for the fertilized egg to grow in the woman's uterus lining, which is also called an endometrium. Testosterone is a sex hormone which can help bone growth, strength, and libido. Though females have less testosterone than males, it's still present in their bodies. LH is a glycoprotein hormone which helps control the menstrual cycle, and it triggers ovulation and aids in the production of estradiol. Finally, FSH is a glycoprotein hormone which is similar to LH as it helps to regulate the menstrual cycle. The difference is that FSH is stimulating follicles on the ovaries to grow while also preparing eggs for ovulation. Now that we understand what each hormone does, we can look at the typical cycle a female goes through. During the first week, estradiol rises, which can lead to a boost in mood and energy over time. Though since it is so low during the first few days, it correlates to low energy and fatigue. Additionally, during this time, FSH is increasing, which leads to a preparation of ovulation as it tries to prepare eggs. During the second week, estradiol continues to rise and peaks. Additionally, testosterone starts to rise and peaks as well, and the combination of the estradiol and progesterone leads to a woman being the happiest throughout their whole cycle during this time. This is the only time that testosterone will be changing. Women have high energy to this rise in testosterone, which leads to a higher libido and an increase in strength. During the third week, progesterone starts to rise while the rest of the hormones drop. This leads to sluggish mood and feeling emotionally low. Since progesterone is a sedating hormone, it's possible to feel low energy during the first half of the week. During the second half of the week, estradiol starts to rise again. When estradiol rises, it puts an end to this low energy. Finally, during the last week, estradiol starts to drop, which leads to body pain and moodiness. Progesterone levels start to drop as well at the same time, which can make some women feel energetic. Additionally, there's no fertilizing. If there's no egg that's fertilized, progesterone levels will drop again after peaking at 22 days to let the ovarian cycle restart. Now that we understand the cycle and what happens to hormones during this cycle, it's safe to assume that our brain is very active during this time trying to regulate these hormones. This leads to different parts of the brain changing. Women's brains had become less volume at the start by the end of their cycle than at the start. Most of the parts of the brain where this happened is where the hormones were regulated. Thank you for listening to my presentation, and I hope it was informative and you were able to learn just a snippet of what I've researched about.